Hey everyone, welcome to the Horror PSA presented by Scary Nerd, and as always, we are your hosts. I'm Paul.
I'm Saul.
And I'm Angie.
The following is a public service announcement.
A mysterious man arrives at the offices of an FBI agent and recounts his childhood, how his religious fanatic father received visions telling him to destroy people who were in fact demons. That's right, we watched the 2001 film Frailty, starring and directed by the late Bill Paxton.
Game over, man.
Game over.
Game over.
I freaking love this movie.
It's a good one.
I stumbled upon this movie several years ago. I don't know. Probably closer to 2001, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I did not see it when it first came out. I had just entered high school, apparently. And yeah, it flew under the radar.
You don't remember?
I remember when this movie came out, my friend watched it, he saw it, and he hyped this movie up like crazy. He wouldn't stop talking about it. So when I finally saw it, I was a little let down initially because he hyped it up so much.
Yeah.
But on my rewatch of it, holy crap, this movie was good.
It has such a rich story.
It really does, and you don't expect it, because it was definitely one of those ones that I kind of stumbled upon. I don't remember if it was like on demand or something, or it was just, I was looking for something and I saw it and I was like, huh. I'm like, oh, Bill Paxton directed. I'm like, all right, I'll give it a shot. I'm like, he's a pretty good actor. I'm like, yeah, it seems interesting. I watched the trailer. I'm like, all right, I'll give it a shot. And I was like, wow, this movie is definitely a hidden gem for me. I'm glad I stumbled upon this, and I'm one of the people too. I cannot stop singing the praises of this movie.
Yeah.
It's so underrated and just it's out of nowhere good is what I want to call it.
Yeah, it is really good. Like I said, that's I think what did it for me initially. Again, like I said, my friend saw it. He would not shut up about it. He kept telling everybody he would see, you need to go watch Frailty. You need to go watch it. You need to go watch it. You need to go watch it. And eventually you get to that point where somebody keeps hounding you about watching something. You're like, fuck you. I'm not going to watch it because you keep talking about it. Mm-hmm. And it was one of those things where I think it came out like,
can't be that good if you like it.
Well, when it came out, I think it was when we still had Blockbusters or whatever it need be. When I finally got one of those things, I was like, you know what the hell? Let me watch it. And again, like I said, I got let down, but now rewatching it now that I'm older, and I can actually appreciate how good it actually was.
Yeah, I really liked the whole God's Hand Killer. I think the whole story of it is really interesting, because I like how Fenton kind of becomes the serial killer, right?
Yeah.
Passed on.
Yeah.
I mean, Adam?
No, Fenton. Fenton becomes the serial killer.
Well, yeah, Fenton becomes a serial killer because he's fucked up as a child.
Yeah. No. See, I think the whole Fenton became a serial killer to point to what his brother was doing.
I don't know.
That's where I always took it. Because, like, he was doing the same thing. I mean, he was called the God's Hand Killer. He was leaving notes, and he was, like, pointing to me, and he knew I would come eventually. Like, so I think it was more of a way to get to his brother and back at his brother, like, through that whole thing. I don't think he just would have been on a killing spree just because he was fucked up as a kid. I think it had something to do with the whole dynamic. And
I think being fucked up as a kid will do that too.
He had to murder his own father, though.
Yeah.
Well,
that's more than just to get a fucked up childhood.
I think Adam carried on the tradition of killing these demons, right? So Fenton's kind of like, well, I'm going to just kill people to fuck you.
Okay, but how much do we know what Adam and Fenton's relationship is like now?
Well, we really don't, because we get the whole story from Adam.
Yeah, we get the backstory.
But we get the whole story.
Yeah, we get the
Adam.
whole story, but his backstory is and then after that we went to different,
orphanages
or whatever, and we didn't really see each other or whatever. So,
but Adam at least came home.
True, yeah.
Adam came home. I mean, Fenton knew where he was from. He could have came home. Like,
I mean, they're obviously in touch to some degree.
Yeah. So I always just assumed like Fenton killing people was a fuck you to Adam and to God.
Could have been.
I could see it, but then if your motivation was to, get your brother caught, then why not just turn him in?
Yeah.
Well, because God was protecting him.
I guess,
but he never find out later.
But he didn't believe that, though.
Well, no, but nobody believes the story, and that's that's the brilliance of the story being told. Well, we think we're getting it from Fenton, but we're not.
Well, that's the thing you got to appreciate. Is it because obviously you are made to believe that Dad's batshit crazy. Mm-hmm. Because he's a religious fanatical.
God was like, "Hey, one day I need your help."
Because if you look at it the way it is, it's like, okay, he says he's driving, and all of a sudden he sees a sign of where No. Like, we could go back a little. He does the whole dream where he says that little bowling trophy, I would probably say it was, starts glowing. And he said, "Oh, God, talk to me." And then he's like, "Look for signs because he's going to give you tools to do what you got to do." 3 weapons.
And the angel said, "Don't tell anyone."
And don't tell anybody.
Yeah,
and then,
because I think the thing about that is like you get that right away. It's like he's a good dad, you know, like, you know, the kids, you know, obviously the mom's not around, she died or whatever. He's telling the story, you know, the kid makes dinner and all that, and the dad comes like, "Hey, how's school?" You know, like he's an attentive father. You know, they seem like they have a great relationship. You know, there's no issues. Yeah. And I love that it's just like that same night he's like, "God came to me."
Yeah.
And it's it. And you have that whole trophy scene and all that. And he's like, "I had to come and tell you right now." And I'm like, what the fuck?
He does that the next day or a couple days later when he sees the shed with light going through the clouds.
Immaculate spotlight, I like to call it.
Mm-hmm.
Gets that, and how did he find the lead pipe?
He just brings it home one day.
They don't show that one. He's like, "I found another one," and then he just comes up with the pipe when he comes up.
Well, it was the pipe, the axe, and what was
the gloves?
The gloves. Oh, the gloves were,
to keep him from using. I call it the religious touch, and I've always loved that in this movie. And I'm like, that is a great way to, like, you know, just utilize your, you know, his power and all that. And in earlier versions of this movie, he had the flashback scenes of the people's sins or whatever. And I believe the trivia said James Cameron was the one who's like, "Why don't you keep that all to the end?" And then the audience thinks he's crazy, and it really does.
It makes it better.
You think like these poor kids, this guy's batshit crazy, and the little one, you're like, he's just falling for it because he just wants to believe.
The little one,
because he's a little kid and wants to believe everything, you know, his dad's doing is right and everything, all that kind of stuff.
So the youngest one, Adam, again, we have to talk about how we brought it up before. Little kids singing.
And we start this movie with it.
It was like, it's creepy, but the thing that, again, we have to bring up The Simpsons. It reminded me of Rod and Todd when they sing that. I completely
thought about that.
That's as soon as I heard them singing that song, I was like, they're Rod and Todd.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty much in the 70s, basically, right?
Yeah, like the whole time the kid's like, "You're murdering people, Dad," and he's like, "We don't murder people, we destroy demons."
Yeah, we destroy demons.
I don't know.
Never murdered anyone in my life.
He's like, and then when he gets mad at him, he's like, "I finally killed somebody, and I had to kill the sheriff." And I was like, "No, you killed all those other people.
You made me do that."
He's like, "No, you did it."
Yeah.
So that's what I appreciate about it, because again, it makes you, up until like maybe the last 20 minutes of the movie when you finally get the big reveal, it makes you think, okay, the dad is really batshit crazy and he's just off his rocker where he's going around killing random
there's
people.
enough elements to point to that he's crazy.
Yeah.
There's minor elements that still allude to the fact that, okay, maybe there is something to this, you know, or like, is he seeing all this? Is it all just in his head or is it real life? Like,
the first time I watched this, I was fully like, nope, that man is crazy.
Yeah.
See, that's what I loved. Like, I love the fact that they give that reveal at the end when you see everyone's sins and he tells them, he's like, "I saw it too every time my dad touched him. I saw it too." And like, it wasn't just, you know, stupid shit that the little kid was saying because he wanted to fit in or whatever.
I don't know. Kids have some pretty great imaginations. He could have just been.
See, that's what they made you think though too. Is when Adam was younger, it's like, oh, he's a young kid. He wants
making it up.
Yeah, he's making it up. He wants to appease his dad because it's like, oh, that's his dad, and why is he going to question him?
No, see, I still think it could go either way. It really just depends on how you.
So you're saying at the end of the movie it's not God?
Oh no.
Okay, well then what are you saying about like Adam just making it up? I really think he saw the stuff back then.
Yeah.
Well, as a kid, you could see things in your brain.
I don't think it's his imagination. I'm saying he actually saw it.
No.
I think he actually saw it too because he had the gift.
Kids and people in general can want to believe something so much that they can make themselves believe it and see it in their mind.
But we're talking in real life though. We're talking about in this movie.
in the movie, Angie, he had faith, and that's why he was allowed to see it.
Yes.
Okay, well.
Plus, he was the one that it was going to get passed on to, because I'm assuming the angel told the dad that, you know, Fenton's gonna kill you.
Yeah,
if you don't kill him first.
Well, that's why it's called frailty. Yeah.
No, because that was the thing too. Is that I think when he's like, the angel told me something and I didn't want to believe it, and he had that whole freak out scene, and I'm like,
I think the angel was like,
gonna kill you.
No, I think it was like, he's gonna be a murderer.
Yeah.
No, he's like, if you don't murder him, he's gonna murder you. I think that's what the angel told him.
That's the one thing I'm wondering if he ever put him on the list for the dad.
No, I doubt it. No.
Well,
the dad didn't. I think that's why it's called frailty, because frailty means you're weak.
Yeah.
So the dad was weak, couldn't kill Fenton. Bada bing, bada boom, frailty.
I think frailty can apply to many things in this movie.
Well, of course, because Adam's also weak for not killing his brother Fenton way before when he knew he was a serial killer.
But he couldn't, or that would be murder if he wasn't on his list.
He said that. He's like, I couldn't
Masturbation,
do it until his list.
You can't
gesture here.
Masturbation gesture aside, he says he's not on my list. I can't kill him. You can't say that you believe in the end that it is God telling him to do all these things and God protecting him, but then say you just said you believe that's what it was in the movie.
No, I didn't.
What did you just say 2 minutes ago? I said in the end, you don't think it's God? And you go, I never said that.
I didn't say that, but I didn't say the other way either.
So what is it then?
Yeah, what is it? In the movie.
It could go lots of ways.
No, there's no could go. I'm asking you. It's either yes or no.
No, I don't believe it.
You don't think God was protecting them then? How do you explain the video thing?
Yeah, explain the video.
Do you know how many shitty videotapes, surveillance tapes
Then
have
how
they got of
do you-
Or
shitty?
better yet, the FBI agent, his
how do you
partner.
explain
How does he
the
not remember him?
FBI guy not remembering him?
I don't remember people the 2 seconds after I meet them. I'll forget your name after you told me to my face.
Okay, but if someone murdered someone next to you that you work with every day, you're like, you're gonna remember that guy's fucking face.
No, I've worked in customer service. If somebody was like, "Hey, can you tell me where this person is?" Oh yeah, he's over there. Deleted that person's image from my brain.
Not
after that.
No.
Yeah, I don't even
We're
care.
not, we're not buying it, Andrew.
Nope.
We're not buying it.
I do not remember people's faces, especially
Doesn't
if they don't pertain to my daily life.
Okay.
Nope, I don't care.
Okay. So you're leaving work, and Matthew McConaughey is there talking to someone coworker, and then that coworker ends up dead. And you're like, "Who was the last person that you saw with him?" Like, it's fucking Matthew McConaughey. Yeah.
Well, if I saw Matthew McConaughey, if I knew the person, I would be like, "That's
you don't know Matthew McConaughey."
Yeah.
I know what he looks like.
Okay.
I've
You just
seen
said
a
you don't
picture
remember
of
people.
him.
You just said you don't remember people,
Well, this
Angie.
you would remember. Okay, the
I
guy
said
would
like
remember.
a customer I've talked to one time.
The guy would remember what
You've
Matthew
never talked to
McConaughey looks
McConaughey.
like.
No.
You've never talked to Matthew McConaughey, so how do you remember
Seen
him?
people talk to Matthew McConaughey.
I remember what the
multiple
lady at
times.
Circle K looks like from earlier today.
No, she was nice. I don't
There you
remember
go.
her face.
I remember. I could point her out in the lineup. How
She
about
was
that?
very sweet, but I do not remember what
I
she
could
looked
point
like.
her out in the lineup or one of those flip books that they give you.
No,
at
I am the
police
reason
station.
eyewitness accounts are not credible. So this is why eyewitness accounts are shit, and this is why
Then I
because
really
nobody
hope-
remembers what they look
I
like.
hope this doesn't come back to bite your ass when you're in court someday.
It probably will.
What did your husband look like?
Someone's
He
gonna
was a
murder me.
dude.
Someone's gonna murder me, and you're gonna be the only witness. And they're like, Exhibit B.
No, I would just
Let's play this podcast.
We have phones, Paul. I just record. Record.
They had video surveillance, Angie,
And it went
and it
shoddy.
didn't work out.
Yes.
Because it was a VHS, Paul.
No, he
Every
said that
VHS
God was
was
going
all
to protect them.
squiggly.
That was the dubbed
Hey.
copy on the VHS. It wasn't the
Remember
actual
earlier
footage.
when
When
even-
you had videotape, the tape part
Hey.
got fucked up all the time.
Remember earlier too when Fenton even said when they went to go kidnap that one old dude, they're like, "We're doing this right now in broad daylight. There's a bunch of people," and the dad said, "Oh, God will protect us and we won't be seen."
Yeah, they kidnapped the Chomo at the Piggly Wiggly in broad daylight, and nobody knew shit.
I watched a news clip the other day of an attempted abduction of an 11-year-old girl that took all of 20 seconds. So yes, I could believe that it would take no time and
didn't
nobody
happen.
would see it. It didn't
So why
happen
did it
in
happen in this movie?
broad daylight.
No, but it didn't
while
happen.
she was
It
waiting
didn't
for
work.
a bus, okay?
And it didn't happen. She got away.
She got away
So it
because
doesn't.
of Law and Order SVU. Actually, this is a
But
true
still,
story.
It still didn't matter. She didn't get abducted. See?
She did it because of movies and
Okay.
unsolved mysteries and parents who are now preparing their children for this world.
Because God was not protecting that abductor like he is the God's hands killer.
Okay.
The one thing I was waiting for
God
is when we finally get the
protected Otis.
reveal is what the other two people did, because they showed.
I know. What did Brad do? And
What
what was
did
the
that
other
teenager?
one?
That teenager.
The teenager one,
The
yeah.
teen girl, yeah. What did she do? That's
No, not the
thing.
teenage girl, the like weird hippie kid who
Yeah,
was
the
in the
hippie kid.
basement.
Oh, yeah.
that one.
that guy.
Like, what did they do?
Yeah.
I know. I always wanted to know that too. That's
Because you
not
saw
an
what.
answered
Obviously,
question.
you find out that Wesley made the list, and that's why he went after him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see what he did.
Why did Wesley kill his mom? That doesn't make
don't
no
know.
fucking sense. Like,
I don't either.
I wanted
And I
more
was like-
background on that. Like,
Curly
why'd you
Bill
kill your
went
mom?
batshit.
Why'd
And
you
I
kill your
was
mom?
like, this doesn't make sense either because if they're demons, right? Then they're
I don't
not
think
human.
he means. So I don't think he means that they're actual demons.
Oh, that's
They're
what he was
demons
saying.
because they killed
he
people.
calls them demons, but I mean, that's what the angel's calling them.
That's what he's calling them.
Yes, but that's
and
what the
he's saying
angel
we're not
says
killing
to
humans.
Okay,
so we're not killing humans that did wrong things. We're killing demons.
But
because
think
they're
about
a demon
this.
now because they killed somebody.
Doesn't make you a demon.
no,
that
no.
makes you a stupid human.
But think about this, right? What's an insurgent?
I don't have one insurgent friend, so I do
But
not
you've
know.
used that word.
I haven't.
You've said insurgents.
I have
People
not.
always say
You're
insurgents.
using this word.
People say it all the fucking time, and you don't know what it means, but you heard it, so people fucking use
Yes.
it. So in the hierarchy of rank, it goes angel and then the guy that they have on Earth killing people. So the angel said demons, so he's going to call them demons,
Yes.
and they're not going to be actual demons.
Well, again, I'm suspect.
I don't think
I have questions.
I don't think he was saying like Abalams and Jeff White over there. or
Well,
whatever,
don't
you know,
tell
like-
me there's a demon if that's just a stupid human who fucked up and killed somebody.
Then he would be the God's hand exorcism guy.
Well,
Maybe
or
the reason
whatever.
why he tells them they're demons is
Exorciser?
because
What do
it's
you call
probably
them?
easier for them to buy than
Language is important.
anything else. Because if you tell them they're demons,
And
they're
he's
gonna
like,
believe
we
it.
ain't killing humans. We're killing demons. No. You're killing, if we're saying sinners, in Catholicism, in religion and all, everyone's a sinner.
Yes.
So that means anyone could be a demon.
Yeah, but they killed people.
Everyone has the ability to be a demon in your aspect of thinking. So we're all sinners, and we have the ability to cross from a sinner to
The whole thing
demon.
about religion and
To
Christianity
demon.
is that we're all born with sin.
Okay,
so
but-
Jesus
but
had to
you're-
die to clean us all up.
But you're throwing Catholicism
No,
into this, and you don't know
Christianity.
what they are. It
I
doesn't
said
matter.
Christianity.
You said Catholicism.
You
I
too.
said
did,
Catholicism.
but I
You did
meant
say, fine.
Christianity.
Christianity or not, then it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
in
Protestant, whatever.
Then in Christianity, demons could just be evil people on
There you
Earth.
Well, then that's still people. And
But
then they
it's
are
still-
still killing humans.
No, but they're
Yes.
killing evil people that are demons.
Still killing
The
evil
guy,
humans.
the guy that murders children, I'm like, okay, guy's a demon, can die. I don't care.
Still killing humans.
See,
It's
He
like I
can't
said,
be like, we're not
though.
killing
Like I said, the
humans.
only-
Like, yeah, you are.
the only reason why I think they're called demons is because it's easier for the dad to buy that than tell him, oh,
No,
he's an
it's
evil
easier
person.
for the quote unquote angel
Yes.
to get the dad to buy and do it
Yeah.
than it
'Cause
is
if he
to
tells-
say
if he
like
tells him, okay,
you need
these
to
people-
kill Jeffrey Jones.
Yeah,
Because
y'all
he's
ain't
a-
giving me any hints that they're not crazy.
We're talking about the movie. We're not
yes,
talking about
Yeah.
real life.
Okay, but
We're
okay,
not
let's
putting
talk.
art.
Okay, I had a whole thing about this too because think about this, and with The Conjuring about to come out, or actually by the time this podcast comes
It'll be out,
it'll be
yeah.
out. But with the whole thing about like in the history of the world, how many times have people killed for God?
Yes.
And
Exactly.
it doesn't matter. So it's like, why are these people any crazier than Joan of Arc or
Well, I've
any
always thought
crazier
all of
than
those
all
people
of those
were
fucking
crazy.
people?
The
right?
Crusades and all that other stuff,
yeah,
too.
all that was
So like,
fucking crazy.
why can't
so.
I murder someone willy nilly now
And just say it
it's
was God?
You know, what's the difference?
Yeah.
Or like in
That's
the Conjuring
the
thing, where it's
thing.
saying like it's the devil. The devil made me do it. But I'm like, all right,
Because it's not real.
no, I'm like, where is this religious mercenary job where I can just
Yes.
get,
Religious
I can
mercenary job.
murder like evil people and not
You can
have
be the-
anything happen to me?
you can be like
and
Blade.
like who's to say that Adam was like, all right, well, he's got a little cash in his pocket, like God didn't say nothing about that, God helps those who help themselves.
But
That's in
wouldn't
the
that
Bible.
make you bad because you would be taking a profit
Okay.
from your killing?
Are you taking a profit
See,
from
there'd
it?
be so many semantics.
Did the angel say not to make a profit?
This is what religion is bad for.
Hey, if the
They don't
angel,
clarify.
if the angel that came to him in his
They
dreams
don't
didn't
use
say,
exclusive language.
can't-
They don't tell you exactly what they want
we're
from
gonna
you.
send you a
He did.
list.
No,
he
they
didn't.
didn't.
He didn't though, really, because he's like the angel said something's gonna happen in 3 days or some shit like that.
It's gonna
right?
give me something. I'm gonna get some
They're
stuff
gonna
to
show
kill a
me a
bunch of
sign.
people.
I got the first list while I was in there underneath the car, and I was breathing all the gas fumes, and the guy was fucking
Yeah.
welding his head
Welding.
basically.
I was like, his hair's gonna catch fire. There's
See,
just sparks flying
Again,
out
that's
from
what I
under
love
there.
about this movie is they make you up until
yes,
the twist.
it's so much that you could go like you could simultaneously watch this movie and start up and be like, no, it's not really. Oh my god, it is. Like, no, it's not. Yes, it is. No, it's not. You are both sides in this movie,
Yes.
and maybe the frailty is you.
No, thank you.
But no, like I said, that's what I love about this movie because up until the reveal, you can pretty much piece everything that's like, okay, this guy is batshit crazy.
Well, even after the reveal, according to Angie, she's still not convinced.
I'm
so I
not
don't-
convinced. Bad shit crazy. Adam was bad shit
So
crazy.
you're not even willing to admit in the universe of this fictional fucking movie that God could be like, I'm okay with you killing these people.
Yes.
It's duality for me, and that's what I love
Yes.
about this.
Yes.
I love the fact that I would love to be a religious mercenary. If that's a real thing, then God, please come. Like
Paul's gonna
I
be
would
the Blade
I would love to
of
be able to
religious
murder people
mercenary.
that like deserve to be murdered in this world.
Deserve to be murdered.
Okay, with the exception of the people that we didn't see their sins or whatever, those people deserve to be murdered.
We only saw glimpses into what they did, not saying the old guy or whatever, because clearly he took that girl and blah, 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 and even the cop guy who killed his mom, right? We saw that. The
dad even said that he was a child killer.
Well, yeah, but like Cynthia, right? He supposedly sees her murder another dude. We didn't know what that dude did. We didn't see anything.
But she was casually cleaning her nails while he was lying there dead.
They casually cleaned up a lot of messes after they killed a bunch of people. So what does that mean? Anything?
Okay, well, okay, but you're getting into semantics and the fact that
I'm getting into
yes, you are getting into semantics, Angie. You're getting into semantics and the fact that the movie just needed to show you a glimpse to show you, like, all right, she's a bad person. She murdered someone.
Yes.
Boom. That's bad.
I know. See, I don't do the whole. They
don't
believe in God, so they're bad. Nope.
You think that's why?
I do think that's why.
That has nothing to do with it. So if I can murder someone and believe in God, and I won't be on his list, then you're
according to this movie, apparently,
your rationale. Well, maybe you have to reach a certain criteria before you can end up on the list.
A certain threshold.
There's a third. Yeah, they're like they showed the FBI's most wanted list with Osama on the background there. There's a top 10. So when you get to the rising level of the top 10, where you finally make the list, then he can kill his brother.
I suppose
it's like Grand Theft Auto. You're in the stars, and then
like,
everybody comes after you.
If God is all knowing, and like, wouldn't you want him to kill Fenton before he killed these other supposed innocents? So God just let Fenton go out in the world and kill all these other innocents, and didn't stop him at all.
He had to give him a reason to make the list.
But you're assuming
bullshit. This is some bullshit.
You are assuming Fenton killed innocents.
Yes.
He killed a bunch of people that said that we're not on any list. We're not demons. Adam said it.
Adam said he couldn't
because
kill
they're
him
not
because
on
it would have
his
been
list
murder.
doesn't mean that they still weren't bad people.
But okay, so God knew Fenton was going to go out there, kill people, and Adam was eventually going to have to go kill him for being evil, quote unquote.
Until he did it.
No.
Because it doesn't make
he had to rise the ranks into the top 10 to get onto the list.
It doesn't make you evil until you do the thing.
The thing is that these God people are the same thing as the other shitty people, but y'all got on the side of the God people. You see how y'all were drawn in?
I'm talking
about the movie.
I'm on the side of this movie. I'm on the side of this movie.
Because the movie plays on your own thoughts and feelings about religion, and meaning
the
good guys are on the side of God.
It's my thoughts that I don't care if I'm a good guy or a bad guy. If there's a job where I can murder bad people with no fucking consequences.
You didn't know any of those people were bad.
But he does with the religious touch thing. That's the thing that makes it okay.
Touch.
And that's the thing. No, because how fucking bureaucratic is this, though, that even if Fenton was killing bad people, all right? So we don't know. We can say that much. We don't know if he was killing innocent people or bad people, but either way, right? He was killing people.
He did enough.
He couldn't make he didn't make the list into a certain aspect, right?
Yes. HR had to step in and be like, okay, we've tallied up the days he was tardy.
He made the list. He made the list.
You gotta climb the ranks.
So he made the list.
So maybe that's the thing. He was killing lower level people before they could climb the ranks. So if anything, he was helping. But I'm saying, how bureaucratic is this that it's like, even if Fenton was killing bad people, right, that would have maybe eventually made the top 10, we'll say, right?
Okay.
It was still not sanctioned by the Lord, so he couldn't be saved or any of that shit.
And again, I'm into semantics.
I'm not saying it's semantics. I'm saying that's the shitty thing on Fenton's part, assuming he was killing bad people.
Yes.
But I would think that if he was not killing bad people, he would have rose to the ranks a lot quicker than on the list.
No, I cannot ever get on board with the whole, it was God the whole time. Even in the world of make-believe, and I'll tell you exactly why.
It's your own hang-up on religion.
Yes.
You're not willing.
And it's not even that. It's not even that. The whole thing, because I can play, like I said, I can watch the Amityville Horror and be into it. I can watch Lorraine and Ed and be like, yeah, it's a good, interesting story. But what gets me every time, and it's not up until the very end of the movie, it's motherfucking Becky going, praise God. And I'm like, nope, cult, I'm out. It's cults. Nope. And I just can't believe any more of it.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Okay.
Because if anything, that does feel out of place. So
it's just that one line, and I'm just like, everything they said was a lie, and I have just been brainwashed. Like, I just get that immediate feel.
Here's something I do have to add. If you watch this movie and you are a drinker, take a drink every time you hear the word God.
Yes, it's
because
a lot.
They say that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
God.
I like the God's hand killer, and they explain it with like, Dad said because there's many times God could just pick you up with his hand or something like that. Or like when they take him. I don't know. I was thinking about that clip of the 11-year-old girl. And
God is forcing my hand.
Don't watch that clip. If you haven't seen that clip, it scared the shit out of me, by the way.
God is forcing my hand to murder.
I was like, no, and I talked myself into it because I was like, she gets away. It's fine. Like, she didn't get kidnapped, right? Like, it's not going to affect me. And the whole thing's like 20 seconds. And I was like, nope. Murder. Like, oh.
Murder, death, kill. See?
Murder, death, kill.
See? Mm-hmm. See? He would end up on somebody's list and they would have taken care of him.
Either way, it's Becky.
That's what I'm saying.
And I'm like, oh, they're going to have a baby and have little indoctrinated babies, and they're just going to keep killing people.
It's your own hang-ups on religion about this.
They're culty.
Okay, fine.
I understand they're culty.
We're not talking about religious people. We're not talking about real life.
It feeds into this. I cannot be in the story when I hear culty stuff because I'm just like,
you're not willingly suspending your disbelief of all of these things.
It's true because I as a person have decided I will never willingly suspend my disbelief around cult stuff. All right? My brain will not allow it to happen. If my brain thinks cult stuff is happening, it shuts it off. No.
It's a fiction.
Okay, so let me ask you this then.
It's a masterpiece of fiction.
It is a masterpiece of a movie.
So you can't suspend your disbelief or your whatever need be for this movie, but you were able to do that for the Emily Rose movie? Or The Last Exorcism?
The Last Exorcism.
Yeah, because we saw all
I could get into that because he the whole time.
Stuff.
But he the whole time was like.
Actual cult.
Yeah, they had an actual cult.
The thing that got me with that was the whole priest was like, none of this shit's real.
Yeah, but ultimately, though, it was the whole culty thing because eventually he did believe and he went after that.
He only went out because she had a little demon baby, and I'm fine. If I see a demon baby, then fine. I'll allow myself.
So that's what it takes. Like
yes, it has to be something outside the realm of reality.
But I'm saying like the second coming of Christ happens. So all right, there's a demon baby.
There's a demon baby.
So him seeing these visions is not outside the realm of possibility?
No, because to me that was a kid making up shit in his brain.
No, but when you saw the dad touch the people and you saw the sins, that's out of the realm.
You don't see that until the end.
Yeah,
though.
but think, but knowing afterwards that you get to see the sins and you see all those. Look how everyone reacted to him after he touched them and he saw their stuff. Like they were always like, it always looked to me that they went through that journey real quick and like they had a sense.
Some of them didn't.
Like they had a sense of like, holy shit, how did you see that?
I saw that with the first one, but then after that they kind of go away, and you don't really see them again until the end where it shows it flashes into Adam and he's seeing the little visions. I'll give you that the cop, the Wesley.
Yeah.
When he sees him murdering his mother.
It left him like drained of energy too.
It did, and I'm like, why would you carry him over your back?
It was like it was like in Ghost when he's like, possessing a body wipes out your energy or whatever. Yes. Like I was like, was that it? Like he saw that, he's like, oh, because he had that thing. Like he's like, how did you see that? Or how'd you know? Or like, so I always imagine or I always assume that they felt that too. Like it was almost like they were felt invaded in their mind, kind of like I felt somebody was in there watching with me, kind of thing.
Well, I mean, nobody wants you to be in their mind. We all do stupid shit,
especially if you murder people.
Especially if you murder people. But I'm just saying, there are a lot of questions I have with this movie, and I get what you guys are saying. It's not a real movie, and I am into it. I think it's a great movie, and it says a lot of things about spirituality and
spirituality.
Yeah, spirituality there. And family and that whole, religious dynamic.
And how you could just, work your kids to death back then and nobody really
and put them in a hole for a week and make them hallucinate.
I found his line when Fenton, who was actually Adam, when grown up. McConaughey is in the office and he goes, the FBI guy takes that break to go, call and check him out or whatever. And he's like, well, they're kind of mad at you for stealing that ambulance or whatever. He's like, they won't press charges if you bring it back. And when McConaughey's like, gotta love small towns. And I'm like, that's exactly how it would happen. Like, boys will be boys, stole an ambulance and a dead body.
You just gotta bring it back.
Bring it back before tomorrow, we'll be fine.
Okay, so this is another question I have about the movie at the end of it. What body did they find in the basement? Did they find Fenton, or did they find a completely different body?
They said Fenton kept his in his basement.
Yes.
So Fenton's victims were in the basement.
Because when they said we found him, and they're like, no, we found
I assumed, I thought that they, okay, I always took that as they found Fenton in the basement.
But see, the only reason why I don't think it was Fenton is because remember at the end of it where he asked,
he says he buried him in the rose garden.
He's buried him in the rose garden.
Well,
but then
that's
the other
right.
thing that he also says, too, is when the partner goes and talks to Grown Up Adam, he says, well, if you ever hear from your brother.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah. So he must have buried him in there. That's right. Didn't tell anybody.
So then it's got to be his
It's
other
got to be the other
victims.
bodies then. Well, see, that doesn't make sense either.
Because he tells him, it's like, if you ever hear from him or if he ever reaches out to you,
he does say
let us
that,
know.
and I think because he's alluding to the fact when they show the bloody badge and the partner's like, is he down there too? And he's like, not him.
Yeah.
So that's why, I get it. So it's not
And
the
I
partner's
think-
body.
yeah.
And
And I
obviously
think
Fenton's
Adam-
not there either.
Yeah, Adam left the badge there to be like he fell victim to the gods of his hand of God
he even
killer.
says he's like, you're going to be his last victim.
Yeah, because he even says that.
But because he was a quote unquote demon, he got buried in the rose garden as well.
Yeah, because he said
promised him.
Well, that's the one thing. So does the FBI think that Fenton's still at large?
And who the fuck doesn't see these huge mounds of bodies in this rose garden? I'm like, this is like, it's not even a rose garden. It's like an empty field with a few bushes on the side, and there's like a forest thing going up to their house.
Yeah.
So I'm like, who does not be like, oh my god, wait, what's that big mound of white? There's rocks
Just
and
dead bodies in this rose garden.
and the flowers there. I'm like, this is clearly a gravesite. Like, who's buried there? Like,
The one thing I was wondering the entire time he was digging that hole was like, is he not going to hit any sort of pipes?
Oh
apparently
no,
not.
not back in those days. Way out that far. Nobody
Yeah,
even
they didn't have
visits
nothing
the
out
rose
there.
garden. That's right next to you.
Because that's what I was thinking. He's like, he's going to hit some pipes. He's going to hit some
there's
power lines.
apparently
He's going to hit
there's-
something.
There's nothing under their ground, and no one ever goes over there. So it's the perfect place for dead bodies.
I mean, really, they just apparently called the cops and was like, "My dad didn't come home," and that was just a sellable story.
Well, I mean, it was really playing on the small town aspect of this, because it was a made up town in Texas. Because he didn't want there to be people like visiting the town and all that, to have this, fake murder movie.
And then the other thing I started thinking was flight or fight mode. If you're in a hole and you know there's a shack above you, you know where the borders are going to be, right?
Yeah.
Why not just start digging that way?
I know, it's just dirt, man. I would be digging around too.
It was like,
that far down, it's pretty hard.
Yeah, especially if you're a kid, you're not that tall.
Yeah.
I'd still find a way to dig out of there, though.
Because I think the only thing was the stairs that would be big enough for him to clean up from.
If you're down that far enough, the dirt's still going to be damp because obviously it's not getting any sun or any of that stuff. So it still should be easy to get out
I don't know
of.
how long that was after he dug it, though.
Still, though, I'd still find a way to dig out of there. Because you have wood.
We'll see when we bury you in the sand. Our experiments.
I have a feeling I can get out of that.
All right.
Let's Google it.
Let's
Google it.
We're going to bury you up to your neck, and we'll see. We've already talked about this.
I know.
Angels show me there are demons among us.
He murdered babies. I was
that
wasn't even a baby.
I love that Adam's like, I found my own list, Daddy. He's like, these are just kids you hate.
This is just a kid that made
Didn't
fun
that
of
kid
you.
just pick on you last week? Yeah, fuck Troy. I fucked that kid up.
It's like
for God.
Like we can't go around killing these innocent people.
I love the. It's like he's not in murder. He's just serving God's will.
Yeah.
The most intentionally
God will blind them for
unintentionally
us.
funny scene is when after he gets out of the hole and you just have that floating head of the kid.
Yeah, he's going crazy.
Yeah, when he's in the hole going crazy. No, I thought
so
the funniest
good.
thing is when the dad throws the gloves at the kid's head. And like, that is a relatable parenting move. Like, I fucking told you to wear these gloves so you wouldn't hurt your hand. Like, stop being a dumbass.
That stubborn little kid, I'm like, nope, I would have been the same way. I'm like, fuck you, fuck your gloves. When he
God,
throws them,
there is no
when he
God.
throws them in the basement, he's like, there is no God. He's like, go ahead and lock me in here again, you bastard. Like, you stick to your guns there.
You did a good job. No, I just did as I was told.
Bet you didn't pray once, did you? Fuck no.
No.
And how did nobody know that the kid was missing for a week? Because doesn't he have
I
to go to
assumed it
school?
was summer or
I
something.
guess.
Because, they didn't really show anything or have any sort of consequences for any of that for not showing up to school.
Or any of his friends either, because you have that one fat kid
Yeah.
that says, "Why don't you come over to my house next for what is it?"
Well, that was
he
earlier.
even has his mom call and ask.
That was earlier in the week. I don't know.
But still, though, you would assume that that's his friend, and his friend would be like,
yeah.
"I haven't seen him in a week."
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I kind of get. Like, it was probably summer because it was definitely hot out there. When
even on summer though too, because didn't you hang out with your friends that much more when
this
it was
the
summer?
fucking 70s, man. I don't know who the fuck did what back then.
Yeah, who knows?
They all had to go work or something. So no, his fat friend wouldn't have gone anything. His fat friend was out in the
working in the fields
with his dad or building his own goddamn storm shelter or whatever.
Meanwhile, Fenton's just trying to get the cops over. He's like, please just come look.
I know that fucking cop. He's like, I was gonna go fishing.
I was going to go fishing in the morning, but this little fucker knocked down my door.
How dare you make up lies about your parents? Like, don't ever tell that to a kid. Like, that's the worst.
I know. The cop was already on vacation mode.
How many times do you think that's happened? Like,
so many times.
Especially
it still happens
in the 70s and 80s back then.
Why are you lying? Like, what?
My parents are murdering people, and they're putting them in the basement. Son, why are you lying?
That's not a story you'd want to make up. No, it's not. So maybe you should look into it.
Obviously, something wrong with your kid here, so I brought him back.
Well, it was funny, though, too, how he said he just hit puberty and my kid does that stuff. So, like, you'll get over it, too.
Lose all respect for you and make up stories about murdering. Like, no, they don't. They don't. I went through puberty and I never made up a story about somebody murdering someone. Like,
no.
Did you as a child? Like, what the fuck's wrong with you, Sheriff?
Puberty is rough. You feel some feelings, lots of hormones, but I was never like,
but it's never driven me.
By that logic,
dude.
Angie and Paul, you guys have almost teenager.
But it's never driven me to the fucking police station to tell them my dad's murdering people. Please come check out my house.
There is death and dismemberment happening.
Oh, that's just hormones you're talking about.
I can only imagine you guys' oldest doing that to you guys. Be like, no. We record horror podcasts and we watch horror movies. We don't kill anybody.
But then, yes, after Fenton's head floats around the cellar for a little while as he goes crazy, he sees God, or he says he
claims
sees God.
he sees him.
Well, he formulates his plan at that point.
Well, I mean, if they put me in a hole and they say, I need you to see God, then I obviously, to get out of this hole, I have to see God. Yeah. So
I saw God in this shitty basement after a week, and all I get was
freaking Adam.
All I get was this meatloaf.
Adam being the typical little brother. Oh man, he got lucky. He got to see.
I want to see God. Oh.
What did he look like? He's like,
he was such the annoying little brother, wasn't he?
He was great at it.
He was.
He was to a T, I think. Yes. Just that character with him, because that's what a little kid would be like with this little.
I want to go with you to get the demon.
Oh, I want to kill this one, Daddy.
No,
he was
in the van.
He was he was Junior from Smokey and the Bandit. Come on, Daddy.
Oh, they even had a little conversation about Dukes of Hazzard. Remember when he was talking to Fat Friend?
These Daisy Dukes, you bend over. I want to see her tits. That's what the little kid said.
Yep. He said, and then Adam says something else. Like he yells at them about talking about.
You like, ooh, you say tits.
Yeah, something like that.
Little kid brother than like, ooh.
But then
you said bad word.
Fenton and Dad are off to get a demon, and this one has a bad mouth.
A demon hunting, we will go.
Yes.
Mind your business, you fucking bitch.
The only thing I was waiting for with their other tool with the lead pipe was the whirring sound, because when you're a kid and you start you have those things and they make the little. I was waiting for that.
The little kids to play with it. Yeah. Like a didgeridoo?
No, the whole thing. Like when you have you never found a random lead pipe on the ground.
Hanging out. What was your childhood? There's lead pipes hanging out.
Lead pipes, ScarJo, and all kinds of things.
When you play in fields where fences have been knocked down.
This is why you guys get kicked off the set. You guys are hanging out with lead pipes.
I wasn't there. I wasn't there. I'm talking about when you're kids and you're playing in dirt lots where there's fences that have been knocked down by other people. Obviously there's little lead pipes around.
Every time I saw one of those, it just made me think of Clue. I'm like, why is there a Clue?
I know. I completely was taken back to Clue, and he's like, look what I got, another one. I'm like, is that a lead pipe?
Are we gonna in the playing room or the billiard room with Mrs. Scarlett?
The pipe wrench next? What do you have with a candlestick? How could you murder someone with a
These
candlestick?
are God's tools.
These are God plays Clue?
He plays Clue. Man? That's what it is. God is in a game.
God was playing Clue and he was the pieces. Yes. Yeah.
So
we're just using real humans to play Clue.
Yeah, that's what it is.
You know, if you watch this movie thinking that like this is a whole new fucking
well, he said that
movie.
The end of days was happening and God was in a war with the devil. So maybe it's end times and they're playing Clue for the fate of humanity.
So it's like Bill and Ted's 2 where like you choose the game.
Yes, exactly.
Like, we choose Twister.
Yeah,
God chose Clue. And
well, coincidentally, Bill Paxton is also in a movie called Twister.
Yes. There's the Twister.
Yes, there's the Twister.
Yes. Well, Bill Paxton was in a ton of movies.
He is in a ton of movies. He's so amazing.
Yes.
He was.
He was a great actor. He was a great character actor. He went for the roles, man.
He did.
And I believed him as a crazy Christian dad in this one.
Yes.
Made his son stay in there until his head floated around.
Yikes.
It was so obviously green screen. It's so funny. It kind of takes you out of the film for a moment. And I get what they were going
out of
for.
place, though, too, because
Yeah,
it's just
that's exactly
there.
what it is. It's like an old after school special where they were doing like weird green screen shit, and you're like,
Yeah.
why are we doing a floating head?
do.
Yes.
It just takes me to Bohemian Rhapsody, the video when they just
yeah.
have their faces. Like, where are the other three?
I did like their whole little like because Adam says it again.
They just go out there and he's singing Queen.
He's just
songs.
singing
They're like,
Queen,
we need to
yeah.
get him out of there, Daddy. He's going crazy. I see a little silhouette of a Daddy.
Daddy?
He's singing devil songs down there.
He's not
Just
answering.
killed a man.
He says he's killed somebody. I don't know. I love Adam's line where you didn't think anyone saw that, but God did, because his dad says that earlier in the beginning.
He takes it. He's
I
he's
also
taking
love-
over the reins.
I also love Wesley's hair.
Wait, why is his hair all styled up when in the flashback?
And the
you mean?
flashback, yeah, it's
Yeah,
all
I'm like-
70s. I'm like, yeah.
I'm like, why do they make it seem like he
He
killed
got him
He
like
killed her like
longer
10
hair.
years ago.
Like, yeah, he had longer
Yeah.
like sideburns.
Yeah.
Like, wasn't it just recently he said, or was
Yeah.
it like I don't remember?
idea.
But I was like, it
How
made
come
it
you said it
seem
wasn't that long ago?
Yeah, it made it seem like it was within a year or so. But I'm like, why does he look like this is like the early '60s or late '60s or whatever?
Yeah,
like,
and
this
that
is clearly
actor-
a long time ago.
That
Powers
actor,
Booth?
Powers Booth, I'm like FBI dude. Yep.
I
That's
can't
you.
ever see Powers Booth as anything other than Curly Bill from Tombstone.
Red Dawn, baby.
I see him as Curly Bill.
Red Dawn always for me. Red Dawn first, and then definitely
Curly Bill.
Tombstone and
Was he playing
Avengers.
Was,
Yeah.
Avengers.
was Curly Bill supposed to be a white guy or not a white guy?
I don't know.
It was the Old West and
It was the
Tombstone,
Old West.
So yes, it was a white
Yes.
guy.
So he was playing a white guy.
Yes.
Okay.
Bill.
He's always a white guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I know sometimes they
Powers Booth was
in
a
those
white
old
guy.
movies, in the Old West movies, they just
Have you ever
put a
met
couple degrees.
Okay.
They bronze him.
Yeah.
But have you ever met anyone that would call themselves or be called Curly Bill that wasn't white
Yeah.
or curly at all?
Well, that's true. Okay.
you ever
that's
known
fair.
a non-white
A
curly?
non-white curly?
No.
Okay. Fair.
I mean, I've never had them. I'm sure it exists, but
If you're a non-white curly, let us know.
but they have to call you curly. They can't
Yes.
call you curly in another language.
Yes. What would even curly be in another language?
I-
What would it be in Spanish?
I don't know what you would say. Would you say so?
I'm trying to think what Curly would be.
What's the Google?
Do you guys not know
translation?
like
No, it's-
Spanish academically? You just know Spanish.
I know. Yeah, I know. I can speak it. Like
You just know how to speak it. You
Yes.
don't know it
but
academically.
that's the one
But-
thing I always
but
tell people.
which-
Like when high school, when I took Spanish, I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I can speak it, but when they make you read and write it, it's like
Yeah.
that's a completely different story.
Yeah.
That's like proper Spain
Yes.
Spanish.
Rizado?
I guess if they call you Rizado, then you're not curly.
Yeah, no. Yeah, that's not a curly. That's not the
see?
same energy. That's not the same vibe. So
Like
no.
Curly Bill.
But no, like Paul said, it's the Spanish version
Curly
of,
Sue,
of Spanish.
see?
The Spain version of Spanish is that what they teach you in high school. And I didn't realize that until I got to high school and took it. And I'm like, wait a minute, I don't know these.
Like, what is this shit?
It's like I don't know this terminology. What the fuck is this?
Like,
What
and
the fuck?
here's this other stuff that you're never going to use, but you might use in Spain.
Like piscina. I don't know what the fuck a piscina is. I know what an alberca is, but I don't know what a fucking piscina is.
I don't know what either of those things are.
Alberca, it's a pool.
It's a pool.
It's a pool. And
you know
the
that.
Spanish version of it is piscina, and
Welcome back to
the
Spain.
Mexican
baby.
version I know is
Podcast.
alberca.
I don't know how frailty led us to
don't know.
Spain. To Spain.
Because you started talking about Curly Bill.
Yes.
You guys started talking about
You,
curly
I
Bill.
brought him up that he was Curly Bill. That's the only thing I could see him as.
But God protects Adam, and Adam takes off what's his face's head? Brad White, who was yelling at his baby's
Wife.
mama.
Devil woman.
Tells her to shut up.
I wanted to know Brad's crimes.
I know. Well, here's the other weird thing about that one too.
Everybody's.
If I have some random kid and dad knocking at my door saying that they have a flat, I'm like, nope.
What's his
I don't
name?
even answer the
Brad?
door
Yeah,
when
Brad.
most people
Brad doesn't
knock
seem like
my
the guy
door.
that would be like, "Yeah, let me help you out, man."
Yeah, no, Brad.
He seemed like he
no.
was up
Get
to
the
something
fuck
too.
out of here. Yeah.
He seemed like he was up to something too
Well,
because when
that-
you let him in, he's like, yeah, let me take you around back.
Yeah, well, I always took it as like the whole God was helping them, so it was just like, it's just a kid and a dude. But yeah.
Okay, well, how can you take it as God was helping them, but you don't think that God was helping them? See, you're so contradictory in this
I am
whole fucking
contradictory,
movie.
and it's Becky. It's Becky all. That's
and
what
that's
happened.
what I'm telling you about this movie. That you're so like it's one way or it's another way.
It
or
is.
It's this. Or
It's a
like,
great movie.
No, that's what's so fucking great about this movie is because you question your own beliefs about
and
is it helping them or are they not helping
yeah,
them?
And you can apply your own life.
You
to
can
it.
literally argue either side for this movie.
Especially, I was born in Oklahoma, so I know these old crazy
Meet
Christians
Texas.
out in the weird in the sticks. That's what you call it. is
Welcome
in the
to Meet
sticks.
Texas.
Yes.
You live in the sticks. You don't necessarily have running water.
There's a community rose garden. Like,
There's a community rose garden where you can bury your murder victims.
Okay, you're saying this, and you're saying when you grew up or you were born in Oklahoma, like you're talking about when you were a kid, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to point out that they're talking about Texas, and I still think it's like that in
Oh,
Texas.
for sure.
I mean, how many fucking people died in the winter because there was no electricity?
There was no electricity.
So yeah, it was like 700 fucking people. So I'm like, there's still shit places where like, well, the water's not working.
But don't you worry, because they outlawed abortion because they care about kids.
Yeah.
They couldn't heat them during the winter.
Yeah.
But anyway.
I digress.
Yes, this is a great movie. And I do think that no matter how you watch this movie, no matter your own personal beliefs, it is a great movie and it will at least make you think.
Oh, yeah. I mean, just alone.
And it'll actually make you kind of question your own ethics because, like...
No, I don't question my ethics at all. I'm
Paul's like,
full on
murder
board.
everyone.
Like God, Jesus, the Pope. Who do I need to write about to be a religious mercenary? Like, wait, so you're saying I get a hall pass for murder and it's people that deserve it? You sign me up.
I love how Adam's like, what does God look like? And Finn's like, it's hard to describe. And the dad just takes that.
The dad gets that built in, like, he can't describe something like that.
Yeah, I'm like,
God's
yeah.
just too beautiful.
Questions.
Yeah.
God's just too beautiful to describe in words. She kind of looked like Alanis Morissette.
It is Alanis Morissette. That's what God looks like to me in my brain is Alanis Morissette.
There you go.
So if God ever wanted to prove that he or she was real, it would be Alanis Morissette from Dogma.
What if Alanis Morissette just shows up?
Well, she doesn't look like she did in Dogma now. So if he comes back, he or she comes to me.
Dogma version
Dogma
of
Alanis Morissette shows up.
So you want
George Carlin on her arm.
That's what it is.
Prime.
Yes, that's how I believe
Alanis
in God.
Morissette.
Yes.
If George Carlin shows up to like tell me something, I'm
the
like,
rules
oh,
of the
shit.
road. George Carlin
That's
shows
what it
up
is.
to
No,
explain the rules of the road to me.
I want my angel that comes to tell me to be like, hey, you're gonna murder people for God. I want it to be George Carlin because
That's a good
the like, dude, let's do this, George. Are you gonna be with me the whole time? Like,
Hey,
oh,
I would
guess.
accept George Carlin or Professor Snape because I can't remember his name right now. Alan Rickman.
Alan Rickman.
Yeah, Alan Rickman because he was
He was the voice of God.
the voice of God in Dogma. So I'll accept him or George Carlin. Those are just
about
in
Chris
case
Rock?
you know. Chris, he was just a dead zombie guy who fell from the sky.
No, he was one of the apostles.
Yeah, he was the dead apostle.
Yes.
Who?
Chris Rock.
Chris Rock and Dogma.
Dogma. yeah.
Okay.
No,
I thought
it's
you
got to
said
be
Christian Bale at first.
No,
What?
no.
What are we talking about?
But anyway, that was Frailty.
Wait, are we done?
We are done. Yeah.
I thought it was funny when they get that lady, the nurse lady, and the dad was like, if you tell someone, or if you tell, someone will die. And Adam would be like, you mean like this lady?
Like this
like
one
the
we just
fucking
killed?
lady you just killed?
Yeah.
People will die?
No, I love how like they just like Fenton the whole time. Young Fenton is just like, no, like these people were murdering. Like the whole time he's like, murdered, and Dad's like, no.
If I could spare you, I would. We are God's servants.
Yeah, I know. And like
gotta
Dad
love
saw
how-
it. That's
See, and
why
I
he was
think-
weak. He couldn't kill Fenton.
And I think that's the thing too, especially for us. I say us, but we're not religious people, and
Not
we
at
don't
all.
we don't go into that, at all or easily.
We're
or whatever.
suspect.
Yes.
We're very sus in the whole religious stuff.
We have questions.
We've mentioned before. We grew up very sus because we're like, no, I don't trust that. Oh, everything's okay in your life? What's wrong?
That's right.
What's wrong?
There's something behind.
We're not getting
Yeah.
taken
Who's
by the
eating you?
Jerry stepfathers of the world. Okay.
Yeah.
Like who is hitting you or who is diddling you? There's something.
What
there's something
happened
wrong. There's something
in
wrong.
your house?
Yes.
That's why, like, when Facebook came out, I'm like, you're not that happy. Look at all the friends I have. Like, no, you don't. There's something. We all know what's going on in the real world.
Look,
more
Facebook and
you
Twitter
put-
started an insurrection.
Yes. The more you put on your social media page, the sadder I know you are in my life. And that's, I think, a good hard and fast rule for everyone. But I have no idea where I was going with what I was going to say a few minutes
Paul
ago.
hates Facebook is basically where he
Because
went.
I got into a Facebook rant about how people are stupid, basically.
But check out our Facebook page.
No. Okay, I'm saying personal Facebook pages. I'm not saying like business. For business or news or anything, that's one thing. And I've always said since the MySpace days that if you're into a business or for marketing of any kind, then social media is great. But for personal people, I'm like, you are a sad individual that's trying to mask your life.
Hey, maybe those sad individuals used
But
to
if
go
that's
out
what
and
you
kill
need-
people instead
But
of
hey,
putting something online. So
if
now they
that's
just
what
put
you
something
need,
online.
If that's what you need, then that's great. But just don't be that person. We're not going to believe your shit. Just know that no one's buying your shit.
Yes, you have a picture
No.
of you with ScarJo.
Your mom threw it away.
We all know your life is great. Yeah.
It's at the mall that's not a mall anymore.
It's a Walmart and Lowe's.
No,
it's a
I
film
don't.
about giant spiders. I swear she was in it.
No, that's where I was going. We're not religious people, so I think when you have those lines in the movie, it gets to you like, oh.
It's just
Like
Becky.
when he's
The
like, no.
praise God.
Okay, but it's not even that though, because maybe it's her delivery, and I
It
get what
is
you mean.
rough, yeah.
It's her delivery and the accent, because when Bill Paxton says it, his delivery is so that's like you really believe he believes what he's saying, but it's still to you as a viewer, and he's like, "We're God's servants."
Yeah, no, but when Becky says it, you're just it drips.
So that's
grossness
it
to
just
me.
drips that like, oh, you're a bigoted person.
Oh, you
Yeah.
son of
I
a
think
bitch.
that's the thing that I like. Religious people, for me, I'm like, religious people are always the one that are so much more judgmental than everyone else.
Yes, that's what it
to me,
is. It's that tone.
Like the epitome of religious people in my mind are the exact worst parts of religion, and that's why I'm like, I can't do religion.
It is her delivery because it almost comes
It
out
is,
the
yeah.
same way that like the shitty religious people go, "I'll pray for you."
pray for you.
Like fuck you, I don't want your prayer.
I'll pray
Oh,
for
I
you.
hated when Adam did that when he was in the fucking hole and he tells him, I'll pray for you, Fenton.
Yeah,
Like, what the
no.
fuck is that going to do?
Don't pray for me. Send more water, you son of a
I
bitch.
can't have food. What is praying gonna do?
You can pray me a steak or some, curly fries or something.
I got this hole here. Just give me a
Texas,
strawberry,
they want-
anything.
They
Come
want
on.
Whataburger. Yeah, I don't know, the religious lines, but I think that's the beauty of Bill Paxton's acting in this movie,
Yes.
because even though it's he's overly religious, and it doesn't really take me out of it as much as I'm like, oh,
See, I'm not taken out of it until the head floating part and until Becky. Yeah, because the head floating out of me, like it's just like, come on, guys. And then
Sheriff.
Becky. And like I didn't mind Becky when when
First
the
introduced her.
FBI calls her and like they're
Yeah.
talking or whatever, and even when the
what's
other
he
one,
done now? He done stolen ambulance.
yeah, and even when the second guy shows up at the police station
other
later,
agent?
yeah, Griffin or whatever. Sure. But yeah, I didn't mind her. It was just that last delivery of a line because it is that I'll pray for you, same kind of like condensing,
for you.
like
All right,
yeah,
Angie,
like
here's
ugh.
here's what we'll do for you. We will
Pray
buy a
for you.
version of this movie, and when it gets to her part, we'll just
Cut
omit
it
that part.
out.
We'll just
No.
cut it out.
Can we dub it or something?
We'll dub it
Maybe
over.
let's try that. Yeah.
I'll pray for you. Fuck yourself.
I mean,
I get it. It's
and if
it's the
God wants you to
inflection.
kill a bunch of people, is He good? I mean,
But your
there's
it's
a
duality.
question.
It's duality.
Yes.
Gotta have duality.
But
It's good
again,
and evil. It's
it's
good and
going to
evil.
make you question your ethics.
It won't make me question my ethics. I've already said.
Yes.
If I'm killing the bad people, then I
Where
don't
do you
feel
apply?
bad.
Because this is the thing. People are just be like, that guy's bad. And you're like, murder them.
No, if he's not on my list.
They give
that's
you a
the
list,
thing.
Angie.
Somebody was like, hey, these guys are bad. So you're
No.
going to go murder them.
No,
Yes.
George Carlin comes to me in my vision and says, "Here's your list."
Okay. As
Like,
long
okay.
as George Carlin showed up first, then I guess you've done your due diligence and,
Okay.
we're good to go.
Okay, and I also want to point out that if this ever happened to me and I was the guy, the God's hand guy, that's
Yeah.
God's go-to guy, like God's hitman, if you will.
Yeah,
if
pretty
I was
much,
saying-
yep.
If I was ever God's hitman, like I'm not going to be like I'm God's servant. I might do it to annoy the people I'm about to murder, but not like openly to everyone else. Like I
Yeah.
would just be like, yeah, it's a thing that I do.
know.
I got a project working with God right now. We're doing some stuff.
It's like, I got plans this weekend. What do you got?
We're taking some. We're just we're making some room.
I'm working on my basement.
Probably like, I can't record this weekend. I have plans.
All right, don't mind that noise from the
Me
from the
and
room
my
back
friend
there.
Otis.
Like if I show up with a couple bruises and scratches, that was just occupational hazard.
Weekend, go get into some trouble.
Well, that was Frailty from 2001.
The lead pipe always makes you think of Green Mile.
Why?
A lot of lead pipe. Miss a lot of lead pipe. His dirty book.
Yeah.
Percy Wedmore.
Who is a creep in real life, but I digress.
Hey!
We will be back next week with
It's
Freddy's
called Grooming, and that's another week we've talked about grooming.
Yes. With Freddy's Dead. I don't remember what year it came out, but I love Freddy, so it's going to be a really good, interesting
It's going to be fun.
Frederick J. Krueger.
Yes.
It'll be fun.
So you can check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. If you don't hate social media like Paul, you can
Just
support
don't come
us.
to my page.
You can support us on Patreon by going to patreon.com/scarynerd. And you can find more horror entertainment news at scarynerd.com. And we will see you guys next week.
Bye, Ron.
Bye.
This movie is the greatest, I want you to know.